Okay, I'm in activity 4.5. I'm doing part one, number 5. I've just downloaded and opened my Automato simulation. I downloaded it as a zip file, so I do have to extract it or pull the files out of the compressed folder in order to open it. If you need help with that, see me or a classmate. But I have my simulation file ready to go here. I'm going to go ahead and start by placing my cam. So I'm going to go up here to place and scroll down. I'm going to find, there's Spurge Snail. That's the Spurgeon Snail cam. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Cancel so don't put 2 in there. And I'm going to have to go ahead and constrain this thing so that it functions properly. The first constraint that I do, looking at the website directions, is I make the mid-plane work plane of the cam to the work plane that passes through the center line of the follower. So I'm going to go constrain. The default is that mate there. This is the mid-plane work plane. And I got to go in there closely, and this is the plane that goes through the follower. I'll go ahead and hit apply. So that's constrained. It's lined up with the mid-plane of the cam and the mid-plane of the follower. If I look over here, you'll see that those are in line nicely. Now, obviously, there's some interference, and we'll get that solved here in a bit. The second constraint is to make the center axis of the hole in your cam to the center axis of the axle. So again, we're going to go mate. There is the center axis of the. And I got to kind of scroll around here till I hit it just right. I might have to. Hit that and that, and that's going to put it on there. I'm going to hit apply. And then the last one, I'm going to make the plane of symmetry of your cam to the work plane through the center axis of the axle. And that's one that I have a little trouble with. What I'm going to mate, rather than following the instructions explicitly, is I'm going to mate this work plane, my other work plane that I created on my cam. I'm going to mate that, so that one right there with that one right there. And by doing that, what that does is that locks my cam, that locks my cam to, I apologize, I'm having some mouse issues. My cam becomes locked to the crank handle so that my cam moves there. Now, obviously, that is got some interference issues with the follower, but that cam is locked in place. Okay, so I have my 3 constraints holding that on there. If I come like this, you can see that is, but however, the follower is not moving. That's this thing right here. It's not going up and down. So I want to add one more constraint, and that's going to be a transitional constraint. And I'm going to tell it for the bottom of this follower to always touch the outside of that. Now, the first selection is the moving face. That's the face that moves, and that's going to be the bottom of the follower. So I'm going to choose the bottom of the follower. That's going to be my moving face. And then the outside of the cam is going to be my following face. Apparently I did something wrong. I'm going to hit constrain, transitional. The moving face is that one. And okay, I'll hit apply and cancel. Don't know what I did the first time other than my mouse is acting a little funny. And now when I twist this, you'll see that the follower goes up and down and drops, and it's always staying to that. So I have this properly constrained. Okay, so I'm back. Sorry I had to break out. What I've done thus far is I have constrained this cam into here where I have the follower now with a transitional constraint that has that going up and down. So now I'm going to continue on. I'm going to go ahead and put it at its lowest point, which looks to be right there. I'm going to go ahead and now set up to record some data. So what I'm really going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and turn off some visibilities, make it a little bit easier to look at. And basically what I'm going to look at is probably easier over here in the model. They're going to turn on the visibility of the angle rotation that's on, turn off the visibility of the mate with midplane with the follower. So I'm going to come over here to follower, mate with midplane, right click on that and turn off the visibility. I suppose that makes it better. And then of my cam, I'm going to turn off the visibility of the midplane, work plane of my cam. So let's see. I'm going to turn off that one, turn off that visibility, and then I'm going to add a constraint, which is a controlled angle constraint. So I'm going to go to constrain. It's this one right here, the second one over from the left. I want the directed angle, and I am going to go the angle of rotation of the follower, and I could do that up here. I'll click on that one, and then I'm going to use the work plane down here on the cam, that, and hit apply. Now, if I've done this correctly, I won't be able to rotate the cam at all. I click on it, I can't do it. But what I can now do is over here, I can manipulate that if I can find the angle I just made, which, let's see, let's cancel that. If I were to change that to 45 degrees, and let me home this, if I change that angle to 45, enter, it will change by an angle of 45. If I were then to make that 90, you'll see that it's going to rotate around. So what I'm going to be able to do is be able to come in here to the right. I'm going to be able to make some changes to this angle. And if I were to make it 135, enter, you can see that I'll be able to measure. So this is how I'm going to go about gathering my data to create a motion map of this cam, or the follower as it applies to this cam.